Hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial with Excel Boosts. Today we're going to go over the if formula. So I'm going to show you how to use the simple if formula and how to combine it with other logical functions such as the AND or OR functions. So the if formula is structured in the following way. So equals if, and then you have your logical test, which is the condition to be tested as either true or false. And then this is the value which will be returned if the logical test evaluates to true. And then we're going to put in the value which will be returned if the logical test evaluates to false. These are just some logical operators which you could use in your logical test argument. So we're going to start off with the simple if formula and then move on to the if and if formula. And then thirdly, we're going to go over the if or if formula, and then expand onto the if and or if formula, so using all three logical functions. So let's start off with our simple if function. We have a small data set of 12 employees which gives us their current salary in column E. Our logical test argument will identify all employees with the salary over 50,000 and return true. For all other employees with a salary of 50,000 or less, the if function will return false. So we're going to get started. We're going to write equals if and then press tab to select this function. So if cell E2, which is the salary cell, is greater than 50,000. So we could either write the number 50,000, but to be consistent and more efficient going forward, we're going to put the 50,000 in another tab, which is called the reference tab. So we're going to select this cell here and lock it by pressing F4. And we're going to go back to our sheet. So if E2 is greater than the 50,000 we selected in this reference, then I want the formula to return true. So open quotation marks and type true. So for any text, you always need to identify the quotation mark so the formula knows it's text. And we're going to put a comma. So for a third argument, the value if it's false, you could either have no value by putting 2 quotation marks, or you could give a text. So in this case, I'm going to give false as the text, and I'm going to close my bracket and press enter. So we're just going to drag this down to the rest of the employees, and as you can see, we have 4 which state true, and all the salaries are greater than 50,000, and the rest are returning false because their salary is 50,000 or less. So we can actually expand this by putting a symbol instead of a true or false. So just typing in that formula again, equals if. So if E2 is greater than 50,000, so lock it on 50,000. If the value is true, then return the upward symbol. So we can lock it on the upward symbol. If the value is false, then return the downward symbol and lock it there. Close bracket, press enter. So now you have a downward sign symbol for any employee's salary which is 50,000 or less, an upward sign symbol for anybody's salary that's greater than 50,000. So we can expand this a bit further by highlighting any cell with the upward sign symbol with a red highlight, and the rest leave them as white. So just going to our reference tab and copying the symbol here, and then going back to our data tab, I'm going to highlight column G and select conditional formatting in the home tab. Go to highlight cell rules and select equal to, and then paste that symbol there. So I want a light red fill with the dark red text, and I'm going to select OK. So moving on to the if and function, we're using 2 logical functions, so the if and the and functions together. So we want to return a true value for any employee that lives in London. So that's the first condition. And the second condition is for anybody's salary that's greater than 50,000. So we're going to write equals if, open bracket, and type and, as there's two functions. So if and, so the first logical is whether the salary is greater than 50,000. So we're going to select E2 and put the greater sign. So we could either write 50,000 and then press comma and location. So we want the location. So we're going to select B2, location to be equal to London. So opening quotation mark as it's a text and closing quotation marks. And then we're going to close our bracket. So if true, return true. And then comma, if the value is false, return false. Close bracket. And then we can drag this down. So we have two employees with a true result. So Emma and Harry both live in London and both their salaries is greater than 50,000. So the second way of doing this, instead of typing the salaries here in the conditions, so London in the formula, we can reference it in a reference tab. So just opening up any new tab and writing the values there. So in the future, if you want to change the 50,000 to say 75,000, you can just do that in the tab and it'll automatically populate in this area here. So we can remove this and try it with the reference tab. So equals if and select tab to select the function. So the first logical is where the salary is greater than 50,000. So we're going to select E2, put the greater than sign, go to our reference tab and select D3 and lock it on D3. Press comma, go back to our data tab and select the location. So that is our second argument. So if B2 is equal to, and then go to our ref tab and select London F4. Since this is a reference, we don't need to open quotation mark. That's only for writing text. And then we're going to close our bracket, comma, if value is true, return true, comma, if the value is false. So now we're in this section, then open quotation mark and type false, close quotation mark, close bracket, press enter. And drag this formula down. So for two employees, we've got true, which is Emma and Harry. Both of them live in London and both of their salaries is greater than 50,000. We can further expand this by placing a conditional formatting to highlight all the true results. So select column F, select conditional formatting, select highlight cell rules, and then text that contains, and then type true. And then you can select your preferred color and then select OK. Moving on to the if or function, the if statement will return a true value if the location is equal to London or if the location is equal to Slough. If else, then return false. So let's get started on our formula. Equals if, press tab to select the if, and then or, press tab. So with this or function, you could actually add as many or conditions as you want. For this example, we're only going to use two. So if the location is equal to London or if the location is equal to Slough, you could add as many as you like. So if the location is equal to Birmingham, if it's equal to Liverpool, then all write true. But for this example, we're only going to select true if it's equal to London or Slough. So we're going to select B2 equals to, we're going to go to our reference tab, select F3, lock it there, comma, go back to our data tab, select B2 again as our second logical. So if B2 is equal to Slough, lock it, close bracket, comma. So if true, open quotation marks and give me true. If it's false, open quotation mark, write false, close quotation marks, close brackets, press enter. So we're going to drop this down to the remaining employees. So if the location is either London or Slough, it's going to return true. So as you can see, all the trues give either London or Slough, and the rest is giving a false. So just going back to the formula again, if or, so if B2 is equal to London, and then comma, and you're going to select your second or logical. So if B2 is equal to Slough, which was our reference in the ref tab. And then you're going to close your brackets once you're done with all the logicals, the or logicals, and then your true value and your false value, and press enter. So to take this a step further, we're going to highlight column F and highlight anything that's equal to true as yellow. So we're going to go to the Home tab, press Conditional Formatting, select Highlight Cell Rules, and then select Text that contains, and type true. So anything that contains true, I want it to give me a yellow fill with a dark yellow text. Press OK. And there is our result for the if or function. Moving on to the if and or function, the if statement will return a true value if the salary is greater than 50,000 and if the location is equal to either London or Liverpool. So in this instance, we're going to use three functions, the if, and, or criteria. Equals if, select tab to select that, and then select tab. So if the salary, select E2, is greater than, we're going to go to our reference tab and select H3, lock it by pressing F4. So if the salary is greater than 50,000, comma. So for our second and condition, we're going to open an or function, select or, press tab. The first logical is whether the location is equal to London. So select that, equals to, go to our ref tab, select London, press F4, comma, go back to our data tab, select London, equals, go back to our reference tab, and select Liverpool. So select F4. We're going to close our brackets, close a second bracket for the and condition, put a comma. If it's true, return true. If it's false, return false. Close quotation marks, close bracket, and press enter. So we're going to drag this down, and we've got 4 trues for this condition. So these 4 employees either live in London or Liverpool, and the salary is greater than 50,000. So just doing the conditional formatting again, we're highlighting column F. We're going to the Home tab, selecting conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, text that contains true, and highlight that in red, and press OK.